Okay, so here we go. We're going to start this off with sharing an ad agency secret with you guys. And this is something that 99% of small businesses don't know, so they're missing out on it. And if you found yourself chasing your tail, doing a lot of networking, a lot of talking with people, but not getting a lot of customers, this is the problem. This is what you're missing out on. So I'm going to go through this, share there's a lot of formula to this. Ad agencies have been doing this for well over 100 years. So let's talk about the most common marketing fails. And I think you guys are probably pretty familiar with this. You're using random tactics hoping for something to happen and it never does. You go and you see presentations and you go to marketing events and you buy all kinds of stuff. That's the shiny object syndrome. But you're not attaching it to a strategy. You don't have an underlying game plan. So you just keep buying stuff. You don't have a system. It's like you're buying all this stuff, hoping and praying that it works, and it just doesn't. And obviously, the result is probably what you're all experiencing. It's wasted time, wasted money, and nothing but frustration and struggle. And I got to tell you, I was here. I was doing all this stuff. I was doing it all wrong. And when it occurred to me, all the people that are making a lot of money and doing this really well, they're all following the same process. And I dug in and I went back and figured out where it came from. And it came out of ad agencies. It was right dead on the money from ad agencies. So that's where it came from. Now, here's what they do differently. If you look at ad agencies, they have a pattern that works. They have a proven system. The system consists of a bunch of formulas, and they use all of them. And this thing has worked for over 100 years. In fact, I've chased a lot of the formulas back to find out exactly where they came from. And believe it or not, there was quite a few of them that came from Benjamin Franklin, like almost 300 years ago. It's crazy. So every marketing campaign that ad agencies create, they follow this strategic protocol. They're not hoping and praying. They're doing things paint by numbers, and it works every time. So it is an exact framework. It's not guesswork. They're doing it and it provides consistent conversion. And I listened to you guys before we started, and almost everybody without exception said conversion is what they're here for. That's what you guys need. You need to be able to convert prospects into paying customers. So there's an ad agency playbook. And this is the same playbook that built all the major brands. Everything that you guys know, everything that you buy in the supermarket, those are all household names. And it came from ordinary products that no one had heard of before they did these ad agency secrets too, that brought them into your living rooms. So I'm going to share all of that with you guys today. And I call it the ACT framework. I'm the only one that calls it this. This is like, I boiled it all down and looked at it and I said, okay, this is exactly what this is. Now, you've probably seen other people that teach similar stuff. Like there's a very famous marketer out there that he teaches market, message, and media. And it's the same thing as ACT. ACT is analysis, creation, and traffic. And this is more clued into exactly what they're doing. They're doing analysis first. They never attack a market by creating stuff. And I bet you dollars to donuts that every one of you jump into creation mode first. Or worse yet, you jump into traffic first. And that can be really expensive if you don't have the other two in play first. Creation is like everything, including your websites. I get people, we have a whole website development division in our company, and I get people almost on a daily basis that contact me and they say, "Hey, I need a website." And I say, "Okay, great. What's your messaging?" They don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, "You're not ready for a website yet. You have not got this figured out. A website is going to do absolutely nothing if you don't get this system right." And all your marketing materials, everything that you do is going to follow the same protocol that you're following now, which is not working. It's networking. You're just talking. And if that's all your website does, it's not going to convert either. So you have to start in that A bucket, that analysis. And I'm going to go through each one of these, but it's really important that you understand that they have to be done in order. You can't effectively create content that's going to convert unless you've done your analysis first. And this is going to come real clear of why as I go through it. But I guarantee you, this is exactly the same formulas that ad agencies use on Fortune 500 companies, and they've been doing it the same for over 100 years. It really hasn't changed. The only thing that changed is the delivery mechanism. When this started out, Benjamin Franklin was printing on a printing press, but guaranteed he was printing a message that converted because it followed these formulas. And then more modern advertising came in play. We had television, we had radio, we had ways to deliver that message in mass quantity. And then along came the internet. And now you've got AI that's just explosive to be able to create the right messaging if you know the formulas. So this stuff is really, really important, and that's why I wanted to share it with you guys. That's why Sue wanted me to come on and share it with you guys so you can stop chasing your tail and you can actually start working with formulas that do convert customers. So we're going to start with analysis. I got to tell you, I spend, like, when I'm creating a marketing campaign, this is where I spend at least 50% of my time is getting this right. This is so important. And here's some of the pieces to the analysis process. And this is the total foundation of everything. If you guys don't do this, and this is not easy work, it's simple. There's no rocket science here. This stuff is all simple in theory, but actually doing it, nobody wants to do it. It's not fun. So, but I guarantee you, if you do not do this stuff, you're not going to be as successful as you could be. I'm not saying that you're never going to make a sale, but if you want a system that you can throw prospects at and it automatically converts them into paying customers, this is what you need to do. First is segmentation, market segmentation. Most people, when I talk about that, they don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm like, this is the foundation of business. Like, if you go to school and you go to get a business PhD, this is going to be part of your training. They talk about market segmentation in here, and it's finding out where the profit is. You've got pockets of prospects inside any market. I don't care what you're doing. The market that you think is yours has multiple segments to it. And guaranteed, some of those segments are highly profitable and some of them are not. There's the whole 80/20 rule that applies to almost everything in life, and this is no different. If you go after a segment that is the 80% problem and only 20% profit, it's going to eat you alive. So finding out where the profit is in your market is really important because that's where you want to focus your messaging. And that takes us to the next piece, which is the buyer profile. Some of you have heard this called an avatar. discovering and developing your avatar. Now, an avatar or a buyer, and is what I like to call them because that's what I want them to do. I want them to buy my stuff. And what that is, it's a profile. It's like a representation of your ideal customer. And the reason that this is important is if you're going to sell something to somebody, you are going to need to talk to them. If you don't talk to them directly, they're not going to buy from you. If you talk to them as though they're a market, they're going to like think you're nuts. You're not going to make sense to them. You're not talking to them. You're talking around them. They're not going to buy from you if you're talking around them, if you're talking in generalities. You have to understand that person. You have to have walked a mile in their shoes, or at least done that mentally. So you know who they are and what problems they're facing and what frustrations that that's causing in their everyday life. So you can have a meaningful conversation with them. And I know there's a lot of people on Lineable that teach this particular thing about relationship building. It's only a little tiny sliver of it, but it's super important. And there's no way you're going to build a relationship with anybody if you don't care about them. The only way they're going to feel that you care about them is if you understand them and you talk to them in that manner. And when I talked about the messaging, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about understanding them so you can carry that forward into creating your marketing materials. And there's a lot of marketing materials you're going to need to create. If you don't know this stuff, you're going to be ineffective at all of it. So you have to really know who you're selling to. Now, once you know those two pieces, the next thing is looking at the competitors. How are the competitors selling to your ideal customers? You need to understand what they're hearing. If the competitors are bashing what you're talking about, you need to understand that because that's going to create objections and you're going to need to address that right up front. That might change the whole aspect of your marketing campaign. If you're going to be on the defense instead of the offense, you have to understand that to be effective. If you're talking to somebody and they've been hearing from 10 people how your solution is horrible and you're not addressing that, they're going to just listen. It's going to go in one ear and out the other, and you're never going to make a sale. And you won't know why. So, this is really important. That third piece, that competitor analysis. Next is the timeline. This is the customer journey. And this is like a map for transformation. This is like you have to address them where they are so you understand where they want to go. And emotional buying triggers, these are really, really powerful. And I'll go through the whole list of them so you can see those. I put down 20 of them. It's the ones I've identified as being the most powerful. And Sue just did a seminar on the pyramid of awareness just this last week. So that's a piece of it as well. So the segmentation, let's talk about that for a minute. This is the absolute key to profits. Not everyone out there is your customer, and that's what most of you think. Most of you will go into a marketing event and start networking and just talking to anybody that's breathing. And you're wasting your time. You have to understand who you're after. If you haven't done the market segmentation, you don't know what you're looking for. So you will talk to everyone. And when you're talking to everyone, and I've heard Sue say this many times, and I love it. When you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. And worse yet, if you're talking to a market like I was talking about a minute ago, talking to a market specifically, guess what? Markets don't have credit cards. Markets don't buy stuff. People buy things. People have credit cards. You need to talk to people. That's really important. So, segmenting your market is where you find the most profit. And I'm not going to go like deep into any of these things, like into the formulas and how to do it, because we've only got an hour here. But this is all the stuff that I teach in my program. I'm just going to kind of give you the points here. So you want to focus on the segment with the highest pain point. Those are the ones that are going to buy and spend the most money. And I've got some really good formulas and stuff to figure that out. Another thing is if you get into the demographics of them and their behaviors and their needs, you'll figure out who has the willingness to actually pay for things. There's a lot of people that need your stuff, but they're not willing to pay for it. Those are not the people you should be spending your time on. Those are not the ones you want to create relationships with. That's spinning your wheels. So you've got to stop wasting money and time talking to the wrong people. You know, that's just a must. And then when we build a buyer, this is really important. This is your ideal customer. The things that you need to discover and understand about your buyer is not just their demographics of their age and their income and where they are and where they work and what they do and all that stuff. That is superficial. That's just the wrapper. You need to dig deeper. You need to get into the psychographics. You need to figure out what are their core values? What do they believe in? What are they terrified of? And what do they actually want? That's the most important driver of all. What do they want and why do they want it? This is what's going to tell you. It's almost like mind reading. This is going to tell you what keeps them up at night. Like when they go to bed and they lay their head on the pillow, there's stuff going through their mind that's keeping them from sleeping. And I have a formula for that. They're usually saying if you can fill in the blanks, gives you a real good conversation to start up with them. Fill in these blanks. They're laying their head on the pillow thinking, if I could only blank, whatever that is, then I would be able to blank. You need to fill those two blanks in. What they think they need to do to get what they think they want. If you can figure those two things out, and that's mind reading, that's part of the process. I'm going to teach you how to do that, how to figure out exactly what's going on between their ears, and then how to create that conversation with them. You get inside their head and you literally can speak their language. Everyone has their own language. You guys think that there's only English and Spanish and French. Well, there's more than that. There's male and female too. If your prospect is a male or a female, you need to address that. You need to change the angles and the importance of what you're saying in your messaging. There's people of all walks of life, and every one of those has a different language. You need to figure out what language they speak so you can speak to them. And when you do this, you can figure out what to say to them to make them say, would you just shut up and take my money? Yeah, literally, they will want to buy from you. You don't have to beg them. They will want to throw money at you if you speak correctly to them. The better you know them, the better you can sell to them. And if you do this, you're going to also understand who you should not be speaking to and just move on. So now you get to the competitor analysis, and this is literally like stealing. You're looking at what somebody has spent a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of money, and you're just stealing it from them. And you're taking it and you're going to improve upon it. You're going to leapfrog them. Like, you need to know who else is competing. This is an important one. Like when you do this research, let's say you're selling something to do with back pain. Let's say you're a chiropractor. Just an example off the top of my head. If you're a chiropractor, what you're selling is back pain relief, really. You're not selling chiropractic adjustments. Nobody wants that. They want their back to stop hurting. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about figuring out what they want and dialing in your conversation. Don't talk about back adjustments. That's just going to scare the hell out of them. And what they've probably heard is, oh, if you go to a chiropractor, you're going to get screwed up. He's going to break your back and then you're never going to walk again, right? You need to understand what they're hearing about you. But your competitors are not just other chiropractors. Your competitors are anyone that deals with back pain. You've got surgeons, you've got medications, you've got massage therapists, you've got acupuncturists. You need to understand all of your competition and what they're saying to your prospects so you can create a meaningful conversation. You need to know what they're charging because that's going to be an important part of positioning your value. What are their strengths and weaknesses? If they've got something really strong, you might not want to talk about that. You might want to attack their weaknesses. Position yourself to where you can be different, differentiating yourself. That's what's going to make you stand out. That's what's going to make them want you. And you don't want to just copy. Don't just copy what your competitors did. Use it as research to make it better so you can dominate that market. Here is the timeline. And this is a really key component for me when I'm creating a marketing campaign because I want to understand where my prospect is. What is their pain? What's their state that they're in currently? And I also want to understand where they want to be. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this as a timeline of everything they need to do to get here. And that's how I'm going to do the presentation. I want to help them get here. The more I can give them along the way for free to help them understand they can actually get what they want, that creates demand and desire. They're going to want to work with me more and more and more. So this timeline is a really important exercise. Now, I talked about the buying triggers. Here they are. I'm not going to go into each one of them. I have a free training if you guys want to go through a free training and learn about each one of these. Sue can get you to link that later on. But every one of these is a secret code of how to tap into their emotions and make them want to buy from you. These things are like ultra powerful. If you're not using emotional buying triggers in the way you're talking to your prospects, again, you're just talking. You're just spinning your wheels. These are the things that make the person tell you, shut up and just take my money. These are all the keys on how to do that. And you don't have to be overwhelmed here. You don't need to use all 20 of these on any one person. Maybe one of these is all you need. But there's a whole arsenal here. This is like tools. If you're a craftsman, you've got a tool belt. And, if you need to poke a hole in something, you're going to want to drill, right? It's the same thing. This is your tools. If you need to poke a hole, get the drill out. If you need to measure something, get the measuring tape out. You got to have all the tools at your disposal to work. Marketing is work. These are your tools. If you don't have them, you're showing up on the job site empty-handed. You're not going to get much done. And that's probably where you are right now. So, again, pyramid of awareness. I'm not going to go too deep into this. This is pretty simple, and Sue covered this last week. But your biggest section of people is going to be unaware even of their own problem. And again, I'm not going to go too deep into this, but if you understand where your prospects are, a lot of them will be in this bucket. They're not even aware of a problem that you solve. But as soon as you tell it to them, it's going to show up on their radar and grab their attention. And now they're aware of the problem. Some people are already aware of them, so you can enter the conversation here. Some of them have looked for solutions and they're already aware that, hey, there's solutions on the market. So if you're talking to somebody that's solution aware, Don't talk to them as though they're unaware. Talk to them where they are. Product aware. This is people that are actually hunting for products to purchase them. And up here, offer aware. They're price comparing, they're shopping, they have their credit card in their hand and they're ready to buy. And this, if you flip this upside down, that's a funnel. You pour a bunch of people in the top, you educate them along the way that you are the best solution for them, and you make a sale out the end. So think of that. If you just flip it over, that's your marketing funnel. Okay, so ready for creation. And it grabs some water there. All right, creation. This is where everybody loves to play. And this is where I guarantee you, you're going to want to jump here and don't do it. Do the analysis first. Do not enter creation mode until you know who you're talking to. Very, very important. I talked about there's a lot of things you're going to need to create. Here's just some of them. Lead magnets, big ideas. For those of you that are not familiar with big idea actually came from the ad agency world, and it's a formula to grab attention. This is where you create headlines that grab people's attention. And it's based on David Ogilvy's formula. David Ogilvy was a famous ad man back in the 50s. In fact, there's a TV show about him, Mad Men, that was based on David Ogilvy. So, and then that leads into sales copy. Sales copy is everywhere. That's your landing pages that convert. That's your follow-up emails. Everything has sales copy in it. And sales copy is exactly that. If you're not writing copy to convert to sales, you're writing doing the same thing as you're doing in your networking events. It's just blah 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 blah, and nobody wants to hear it. They don't want to read it either. It's no more effective in the written word than the spoken word. You need to talk about what's important to your prospects. That's sales copy. Webinars and VSLs. VSL is a video sales letter, by the way, for those of you that don't know it. Email sequences. This is really important. You can't just talk to somebody once. Not everybody is just going to buy on the first conversation. You need to nurture them. That's part of building a relationship. If you just talk to somebody at a networking event and you say, "Yeah, I'll call you," and then you don't call them, you think they're going to do business with you? It's the same thing with follow-up emails. You need email sequences that are automated in place to follow up. You don't have that, you're dead in the water. You're going to need ad creatives, marketing funnels, social media content, basically everything. You're going to need all of this stuff. And this is, remember I told you, flip the funnel upside down? Lead magnets up here is where you grab their attention. You put a free offer in front of those people that are unaware, and you bring them into your fold. Next, you use a big idea on them. This grabs their attention and gets them focused on what you have to say. That leads you into your presentation. This is your sales copy. This is your opportunity to create demand and desire by walking them down that timeline. This is where you can walk them down and you can share with them how to get them what they want. That's creating demand and desire. You need to eliminate objections and then make an irresistible offer. Guaranteed, this will get you customers. This is what's going to make you sales. Most of you are probably not doing this. You're having a lot of conversations, but they're not following this formula. Now, the objections. This is one of the formulas I wanted to share with you guys. Everything I'm talking about has a formula just like this. I can't go into all of them, but I wanted to share at least one so you could see the pieces. Benjamin Franklin created a formula for crushing any objection. And this is it. It's claim plus proof plus benefit equals a sale. And this is like if they have an objection, Benjamin Franklin realized that every objection is based on a belief. And in your prospect's mind, that belief is true, even if it's not. It's true in their mind. Like in many cases, whatever it is that you're trying to tell them they can have, they don't think they can have it, or they already would have it. So that's a belief. That's ingrained. You can't just go up and tell them they're wrong. That's just combative. But you can make a claim. If you do this formula, you'll invert the belief and turn it into a driver to buy your product. So you make a claim that's exactly opposite of whatever they believe. If they believe they can't, the claim is you can. You have to immediately attach it to a proof point, though. That's not just you saying it, because that's just hearsay. So if you attach it to a proof point that is someone of authority is backing up your claim, now all of a sudden it moves. It shifts from an opinion to a fact. And most sane people won't argue a fact. They'll argue opinion till they're blue in the face. But as soon as you flip it to a fact, then you just changed the belief. Now they're like, oh, maybe I can. There's actual proof. I can do this. And then that's the time you immediately attach the benefit of the outcome of what they actually want, and now they believe they can get it. Their initiative to give you money just went through the roof. Just with that simple little formula right there. And you guys probably didn't know that. You probably are just dealing with trying to handle objections the best you can, and it's not working. Well, Benjamin Franklin gave you the formula. You should never struggle with an objection again. And that's really powerful. So now this is the final frontier. And I really encourage everybody to stay out of here until you've done the first two. You have to do the analysis and you have to create effective messaging before you get here, because this is where you start spending money. If you're buying traffic, this costs money. Even if you're not paying for it, it's still costing you money, which is time. Time is money in this game. Like you guys are networking. You don't see that as a cost, but that is expensive because that's your time. Your time is the most valuable thing that you have. And you're burning it and you're not valuing it. So traffic is incredibly expensive. So the best marketing, you could do all of the first two things and have a great marketing funnel if no one sees it. And more importantly, I'm not talking about just no one. If the right people don't see it, it's going to be very, very ineffective. So you have to figure out, that's part of your analysis. Part of your competitive analysis is figuring out where your competitors are advertising. Where are they bringing their message in front of those ideal customers? That's important for you to understand. You want to use multiple channels for a maximum reach. You want to reach everybody that is your ideal customer. You need to figure out where all the places are they're hanging out and put your billboard in front of them. Paid traffic is the fastest results you're ever going to get. Like a lot of people want SEO because they think it's free. SEO is not free. SEO takes time and energy, and time is the key factor. You can do SEO for 6 months and maybe not get a visitor. You can go to Google and you can buy the people that are searching for that keyword right now today. And you can make sales today. If you've got a message that's going to convert, why don't you go buy that customer today instead of trying to do SEO for 6 months? And maybe they'll come, maybe they won't. Organic traffic, if there are situations where you can tap into organic traffic quickly, that's long-term sustainable growth. Social media, building relationships, that's one of my least favorites because that one I've found when people are in social, they're not in business mode. It's like in Facebook. How many of you have tried to post on your Facebook channel and you don't get any sales? Well, guess what? Facebook is a party. All of your customers are going to the party, and guess what? You show up like the Tupperware lady pulling out your table, and everybody's like, who the hell brought her in the party? Right? Get her the hell out of here. We don't want to buy Tupperware. We're here for the party. Right? That's what happens a lot of times in social media if you don't do it right. If you do the paid traffic in social media, that's where I've seen it be effective. And again, it's bringing it in front of the right person at the right time. Email is still one of the best things. Hitting them direct, that's one of the best conversion things ever. And omnipresence, being everywhere all the time. That's what you want to strive for. Now, here's some of the traffic channels. Again, I'm not going to go into each one of these because we'd be here for the next week. But this is some. This is by no means all the places where you can get traffic. This is just a sprinkling of the online forms. There's a ton of offline traffic that you can get access to. You guys are doing marketing events. You're doing social events. All of that is traffic. So don't think this is the only form of traffic. But omnipresent strategy means you're going to do everything you can, but don't waste your time. Don't go to marketing events where your customers are not there. You're not going out just to yak. You can go to church and do that just fine. How many times you don't go to church to do business, right? You go to church to hang out with people and get spiritual. And it's the same thing here. You have to go where your ideal prospects are and where they're ready to hear you. So, we've covered ACT, but what I've done, I've realized over the last probably 10 years, as much as I can teach the ACT formula, nobody wants to do the work. So I created this thing called Quantum AI, and it's all the tools that does all the things I just told you about. It does it for you. It uses AI to leverage and make it easy. So it's a suite of tools that I've created to do the heavy lifting for you. It's got a market segment tool. You literally just tell it what market you're in, and it'll give you the top 10 most profitable segments of the market. You don't even have to think about it. It'll just do that work for you. The avatar builder. This is the thing I call it my build a buyer tool. It'll give you a deep buyer profile that's multiple pages long, telling you everything you ever wanted to know about your ideal customer. It'll do the mind reading for you. That's hard for a lot of people, by the way. This thing just does it and kicks you out a report. Here's your customer. Here's their problems. Here's what they need to hear to resonate with you. We have an emotional buying trigger tool. All 20 of those emotional buying triggers that I showed you, you can put your product and your market into this tool, and it will write the triggers for you for your particular product. All 20 of them. And remember, I said you don't have to use all of them. When it writes each one, it will give you the trigger, and then it will also tell you which other trigger it's most impactful to combine. It'll usually give you 2 to 3 triggers to combine for maximum impact. It does all that work for you. You don't have to guess at it. A big idea generator. This uses David Ogilvy's exact formula to create attention grabbers for you. Again, so you don't have to second guess if you're doing it right. Having these AI tools do this stuff for you it's been an absolute game changer for me. They'll write your sales copy, they'll write your email follow-up sequences. They'll even build your ad creatives for you. It's amazing. It's like what used to take weeks and even like months, what used to take me weeks and months now takes me minutes to do. using this tool. And Sue has been using this tool for a while. She's absolutely in love with it. We call it quantum. So I combined quantum and act. So not only do you get to learn what to do, but you have the quantum tools to actually do it for you. And that is a game changer right there. And again, every one of these tools is based on this 100-year proven formula. So it's not theory, it's from the exact playbook the ad agencies are using. It's like all these big Fortune 500 companies. This is what they've used to take normal products and turn them into household brands. In the cost, like if you went to an ad agency, you're going to pay 50 to a $500,000 for them to build you one campaign. That's what they charge to do this formula for your business. That's what these Fortune 500 companies are paying. And it works. That's why they keep paying for it. You guys can have the system basically at your fingertips for next to nothing. And it is the exact same system. There's no difference. What I'm giving you is exactly what these guys are paying for. And all the AI tools, the analysis, the creation, the traffic, this stuff has worked for over 100 years. And I guarantee you it will work for you. There's no doubt in my mind. These systems work across the board. There's nothing they don't work on. So that's really important. The ACT program itself is basically $2,000 and it's $47 a month to give you access to ongoing training, support, mentoring, and the suite of tools, all for $47 a month. And what I did to make this affordable for people is I cut the price down to $497 to get in. And the second payment of $1,500 is not due until after you've made $100,000 using it. So that's me putting my money where my mouth is. It works. And I've also made it to where if you do this, you make your $100,000, instead of making that second payment, you trade that in for a video testimonial because that's worth it to me. I would rather have the video testimonial to help others understand this works than the money. Now, this might be out of reach for some of you, and I don't want it to be. So that's where for Sue and the people on Alignable, we've cut this down to $97 to get in and $47 a month. Now, there is no second payment, but what I want you to promise me is any of you that do this, you're going to get the benefit out of it. After you make your first 100,000, I would love you. In fact, I'm going to demand that you come back and give me a video testimonial. That's the deal. If I'm giving you guys this price, that's what I want out of it. I want your success and I want it documented. I want to celebrate you. I want to take that video testimonial and share it with the world of how successful that you became by following this system. So you also get, I don't know that we really talked about this, but I do weekly mentoring and support calls every Thursday. And you get access to that as long as you're in the program, as long as it's $47 a month to be in the program. You don't have to stay in. You can do this for a month and then bail out if you want. But you would lose access to the calls. You would lose access to the tools. But you can take the training and run if that's all you want. But the 47 bucks a month to have access to me, I say this is where you get to take me home with you. Most people will buy a program, they go home, they put it on the shelf, and it's gone. Here you get to take me home with you to make sure that you succeed. For 47 bucks a month. That's like the best I can do for you guys. that's that's a lot. So if you guys are interested in this, you can go to internetdominators.com/Sue. That landing page is set up with this price for you. And that's pretty much it for today. Anybody with questions, we can do that. I have about 5 minutes before I have to cut out. I have a hard stop at 10. So Jimmy, go ahead. You have to unmute.
Yes, two quick questions. You mentioned about a free class you are doing. When is that? And do we need to, or should we take that before we sign up for the ACT and Quantum AI suite?
You can do either way. If you're not sold on it, like I think you should probably be sold on the whole ACT program at this point. But for any of you that aren't and you're just here for freebie stuff, you don't really want the real deal, Sue can get the link out for you for the Buying Triggers Masterclass. It's free. In fact, you can get that on my homepage. If you just go to internetdominators.com, you can take that free masterclass on the 20 buying triggers. But that's included in the ACT program. That's part of the whole bundle. So
Oh,
I think it's probably for you to do that first. That would be more for me as a prospecting tool to get somebody to understand my value to them. And then they're led into the presentation that you just took here, but you would be taking a step backwards by doing that. You're
oh,
you're
okay.
already you're already beyond that. You should just go for it. You're going to get everything anyway.
Okay, I guess maybe I misunderstood. I thought the class is to teach us how to, go through each section, each segment, A, C, T, and all that.
No, the free master class is just on the 20 buying triggers.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's a prospecting tool that I use. And in the program, you'll learn why I do that. You'll learn
Oh, okay.
how effective that is. Now, you guys have already leapfrogged that. You're already here. You've already been through the whole presentation. So you're
Mhm.
beyond that.
Right. My second question is on the special pricing you have with Pursue. It's 97 plus 47 a month. So when we sign up, do we pay both the 97 and the 47, or the 97 first, and then the following month the 47 kicks in?
Correct. It's 97 for your first month, and then the second month on, it's 47 if you want to stay in. And
Okay, thank
I can
you.
almost guarantee you you're going to want to stay in.
All right.
But there's no long-term commitment. If you get in fact, if for you guys, if you get in and you decide this isn't for you, I'll just give you your money back. I'm that certain
Okay.
of this. So
And if I understand you correctly, when we go through this, they will show us how, because this is the first thing we have to do is market segmentation, develop the buyer profile. So when we get this ACT framework and quantum AI, you'll teach us step by step on how to go through that process, or is that a separate
yeah,
class that you teach?
it is all done in video. You can go through it step by step, and then you've got me on the weekly calls to answer any questions as you go through.
Okay, all right, thank you. That's all the questions I have.
All right, let me go to Jennifer.
Hello, I just was wondering how long this offer was going to be good for.
That I don't really know. That's kind of up to Sue, however long she wants to offer it. So I I don't have a true answer on that for you. But if there's anything that's holding you back, you can feel free to email me at John at Internet Dominators if you have like further questions or anything. I'm happy to help. I want to make sure that you guys all get what you need, and this is truly what you need. This is I can guarantee you this is what you've been missing. So Sue, go ahead, Sue Adams.
I just want to say I signed up Saturday and I printed the workbook. I went through about
Cool.
half of the videos and I highly suggest doing it
Yeah, you
for
you you really can't go wrong with this.
no, no. And what time Thursday are the trainings?
They're typically 11 a.m. Pacific time on every Thursday. Now,
Okay,
sometimes I've got conflicts and I have to move them around, so I send emails out each week just to confirm the time.
okay,
Like this week,
Perfect.
for instance, it's going to be Friday because I'm speaking at a conference center on Thursday. So
Okay.
this week is
Okay.
an exception to the rule.
Sounds good. Thank you.
So, all right, it is 10 o'clock here, and I do have a hard stop. I've got another seminar that I have to put on.
I'm
Uh,
happy to stay and answer as many questions as I can possibly can since I worked with John on this. So thank you, John, so
all
much.
right,
Amazing as usual.
all
Thank
right.
you.
I'm going to go ahead and stop share and then hop on to my other one. But thank you guys all for being here. I really appreciate the time, and I hope I can help all of you.
Thank you, John.
Yep.
Thanks, John. He's so amazing. Oh my God. I worked with him helping him put all this ACT program together many years ago, and I still get something every time I talk to him. So I'll see if I can answer any of your guys' questions. Sierra, go ahead.
Thank you, Sue and John. You guys did a great job. My question for the program is how quickly do you start to see results? Obviously, everything is dependent on how the sweat equity and how quickly you can move and
100%.
exhaust the stages. But in your own experience, I was kind of curious to learn like how quickly you see results.
It's very interesting, and it definitely depends on the people. There's always those of us that, we find something and we're all excited and we start it, and then you realize it is work. I mean, you have to do the work. That's just the bottom line. I mean, do you want to make money or do you not want to make money? So it's kind of up to you. I teach every single month, and I'm actually going to start doing it every week because the whole avatar thing, just discovering your perfect, most profitable, ideal customer. To me, that changed my life and my business when I had my school instantly, like instantly. As soon as I knew exactly who my most profitable customer is and how to speak to them, oh my gosh, my business went through the roof. So there's certain things that I mean, you could do everything, but there are certain things in there that are going to go, oh my gosh, I could just make one tiny little tweak to my marketing messages or my marketing campaign and the whole thing might change. If you haven't been to my ideal customer one, I do have a recording. I will try to go find that and send it to you guys. But yeah, it really depends on that and what you're selling. And it's kind of like when you hear something and then you're like, I just have to make one little thing, one little tiny little thing with my marketing message, and it'll change everything. So yeah, it is an amazing program. I'm just going to tell you, I was with him when he put it together, and I used to be a second grade teacher. That's what I went to college for. And when he started teaching this, I went, wait a minute, we got to like tweak how you talk about this stuff so regular people can understand it. And I'm telling you, it changed my life. So I love it. Jimmy, well, let me go to Donald first since you already asked some question. I'll come back to you. Donald, what's your question?
Did you say you were going to put you were going to make the recording available?
Yeah, I'm gonna edit this recording and I'll make sure it's available so you can go back and watch it again. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and I plan to do this over and over again, and I'm going to be teaching some different parts of it. So, for example, this week I talked about that upside down pyramid. We talked about, the different times that people are ready to hear messages. So I'm going to be doing a lot more of that. Make sure you guys are all in the Business with Purpose group. We do a Business Mastery series that's going to start up in the next few weeks. We're going to be expanding, having a Business with Purpose University that I will be bringing in John all the time to teach little pieces of this too. But when you're in the program, literally every single Thursday, you can just raise your hand and he will help you with your business. Like he charges $1,000 an hour to meet with him one-to-one, but you get him every week. It's like he's just an amazing person. Jimmy, go ahead. Your question.
Okay. Two questions again. As far as the video lessons in the program, just ballpark, how long each the lessons, like an hour length, 2 hours?
No, he's put them in little short snippets, depending on which one it is. So you can go and watch the different things all the time. And what Sue Adams was saying, she just joined a little bit ago, and it gives you a whole thing to fill out. So for yourself, like, what do you want? What do you want to get out of this? And then how to do that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Like you can jump around. You definitely want to go through it once from beginning to end, because like you said, you do have to do those things in the right order, or you're going to screw it all up. So you want to make sure you go through those. So
Right. Yeah, the reason I asked is so I know how to budget my time for each video lesson and all
yeah,
that.
I mean, you're going to find things that you just go, oh my God, I really want to dig into this, you know? So yeah, it's kind of up to you.
Okay, and the last question on the Thursday sessions, are those recorded? For example, if I have a conflict with a time, is it recorded where I can go back and
Oh yeah.
watch?
In fact, once you join, you can go back and watch all his past recordings. Oh, and this is a little thing that he does. He wants everybody to make money. His purpose in his life is to help as many, he's just like me. We want to help as many small businesses as we can. So, he actually will give, when you become a part of his program, some of you guys are going to understand the big deal that what I'm going to tell you is you're actually will become an affiliate of his products. So you can go and talk to people, and if they sign up with your link, you can become an affiliate of his stuff and actually, you know, have another income stream. He offers all kinds of cool stuff, like this newest thing he has. People like Jim, you're gonna just love it. It's how SEO is kind of gone now. He kind of invented SEO, believe it or not. Now it's all about getting your stuff into AI. So when people are searching for stuff with using AI, now that's what they're doing, not Google, right? You want your stuff to show up. And he's got this brand new product that will get you on all the AI platforms and make sure that your website, I can't even describe it. You will hear about it any Thursday, or you can talk to him about it. But he's really and becoming quite the AI expert with how it can help you with your business and your stuff. Maggie, I'm gonna have to go in about a few minutes here because I got another
I
one.
just want to ask, is it really, really technical? Because I'm not a technical
No.
person, number
No.
one. Secondly, I'm meeting with somebody tomorrow to help me set up a web page and email marketing and campaign, all that stuff. Would this be integrated into what I would be looking at?
Heck yes. And yes, it's not technical. I mean, maybe when you get into the traffic, depending on how far you want to go with traffic, but it really isn't. It's when you learn how to do the research to find who you're talking to and get those marketing messages. But be really careful, Maggie, because it's exactly what he says. People automatically, and when I used to do websites, I'd get this all the time. I want to start a business. I need a website. It's like, do you even know like who your customer is and what you're marketing? I mean, you can't do that. And I've just seen it a million times. So you want to make sure you do that research and learn, and your mind will be blown. I'm not lying. It changed my life when
Well, I'm in a very specific niche though, Sue. I mean, like everybody says that, but mine is dealing with highly sensitive people. And it's real specific.
Exactly. So when you go and if you're in his weekly things, tell him that, and he'll totally change your way of thinking on where those people are actually located and how to go find them.
Okay.
The problem with a lot of people, especially when I'm coaching a lot of my business owners that have niches like that, and I do it all the time, is they think they just can just talk. I have one.
You can't.
Yeah, and
I'm learning you can't do that. I'm learning you can't do that.
Yeah, it's like the people that say, well, they'll choose on Alignable their ideal customer is someone who wants to lose weight. Well, no one on Alignable is telling us that they want to lose weight. Nobody. There's no place on our profiles that we can say, I want to lose weight and find somebody to help me lose weight.
That's right.
Laughing is so true. But there are ways to find those sensitive people or whoever it is you're looking for.
Okay.
Kind of like one of my newest, I've been doing clarity sessions with people. I'm offering that up right now. Anybody can email me, sue@suebrooke.com, and I'm doing hour-long sessions with people to try to narrow that down. And I have a guy who he says he can help somebody quit smoking in 1 hour, like one hypnosis hour. He charges like $800, but he guarantees that they will quit smoking. And it's like, okay, well, how do we find those people that want to quit smoking? Well, we're not telling people, somebody's not saying, I want to quit smoking on Alignable. Where are those people? And so his program, seriously, you guys, changed
I
everything.
really would like to talk to you, Sue.
It's fun. Yeah. So if
What
you
what is your email?
Okay, so actually, yeah, Sue at SueBrooke.com, and it's Brooke. I'm gonna send you everybody a list of all the links and how you guys can, if you go to my profile on Alignable, just go to my profile. I'm offering clarity sessions where we just talk for an hour, and I'll show you on the quantum AI suite of tools that you get with this. I'm telling you, it's amazing. You can go in there, put your market segment, right? Put you're in there, and it'll give you your top 10, like in a minute, less than a minute. It will give you your number one top most profitable customer down to the top 10. And then you can take that and you can put it in another one of the tools, and it'll help you craft figure out exactly, it'll tell you everything about that ideal avatar. And then you can actually have it create marketing messages and link magnets and the whole 9 yards. It's like,
Okay.
my head
Thank
blows
you.
up every time.
Thank you very much for the informative session.
Well, I'm going to do this probably. I'm going to go back and probably do this every week. Oh, look, it's 11:11. What a good time to end the session. 11:11 hits up with me all the time. So anyway, I hope I answered all your questions, and John did. I know it was like drinking from a fire hose. Happy to reach out to me if you have any more questions about the ACTS program or anything else. And Jim, it was so good to see you. Let's set up some time to catch up. I'm dying to catch up.
Sounds good. I'll send you a
All
link.
right. All right.
Bye.
Bye, you guys. Have a wonderful,
Bye.
wonderful day. Thank you. And I'll talk to you soon.
Hi,
Okay.
Thank you,
Jim.
Sue.
Hi, Jim.
Hey, Fran, good to see
Hi,
you.
Fran.
Hi.